Well, he was out there as a young photojournalist and was covering the ISM, which is a protest movement. And he was rescuing some children, or trying to help rescue children from sniper fire from an Israeli watchtower. And he was shot by one of their soldiers. And that led to quite a long investigation to find out what was happening. And I think one of the lessons that we learned from that was that you can't place any reliance on Israeli accounts of events. And I think that's why I feel it's particularly relevant today when we're hearing the Israelis explain their actions in Gaza. So I think that was our concern, that this was happening again, because it does seem that that's the IDF approach, to routinely misrepresent what are ordinary civilian targets as in some way tainted with a military aspect, and therefore justify their attacking them.
And yet you still have support for Israel, don't you?
I do indeed. I've always supported Israel, and I still do. But I do find it very difficult when you see how the Palestinians are treated and the inhumane and unethical policies that are adopted and seem to be getting worse, and certainly in the present war in Gaza, they seem to have gone completely out of control. We're talking about 14,000 civilians having been killed in the space of, 6 weeks. And that's more than the Russians have killed in the Ukraine and the whole of the Ukrainian conflict.
And yet Hamas, their barbarity on the 7th of October is what triggered this situation. We have seen that we don't know how many exactly hostages are being held, but they're being held in tunnels underneath Gaza and being used as a currency in order to try to keep a ceasefire in place. What's your view on that?
Well, I understand that. I mean, to kill 1,200 people is barbarous. But what you must remember is that barbarity was incited by the ongoing barbarity of the Israeli policies towards Palestine.